wanted to give you a quick update on the Jeepster and what we've been doing, and actually some of the stuff that we got for it the other day, which we got a phenomenal deal on, and I'll tell you all about it. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is this top. This is a 71 Jeepster rear hatch, a 67 Jeepster top, and then 71 Jeepster side glass. One cool thing, when I bought the top, I also got the gaskets for the side glass. If you look at how to get those gaskets, really they're super expensive. You get nickeled and dimed when you're restoring a vehicle like this. Anytime I do one of my rolling restorations, I always like to be as budget as possible. So I'll oftentimes use already refurbished or already used parts, which makes it easier and cheaper on me on an expensive project like this. Now, one nice thing is that the hatch that I have had its glass already in it, as well as it had the gasket, which is pretty decent, and then the frame. The frame's in pretty rough shape. However, when I got the top, I also got another rear hatch for it, the actual original hatch from the top that's the same color. Now everything's going to get sanded back and painted white, which is a little bit behind the reason I painted the sills around the windows white. So when I shoot the top, I don't have to make sure to get in all the crevices. I've already done that bit, so I can just shoot the top as is. The inside's going to get sprayed with a polyurea bed liner coating. That's mainly for silencing as best I can, and then it's going to get dynamated pretty heavily, probably 2 layers thick, because there's a lot of rattles in old Jeeps, and that'll help quiet it down as much as possible. So the top, one downside is when I got it, the latch is locked. So the only way to actually open it is to go inside and unlatch the drop gate, and that would allow you then to open the hatch. Eventually I'll take it to a locksmith and have him either rekey a key for it, or the more likely thing, he'll pull the lock barrel out and I'll just replace it with a different one. But the way it works is opens up like so, grabs itself with its little teeth mechanism, and then when you drop it back down, you lift, the teeth retract, allows the top to slide back down. To close it, you just simply push it shut. That seals the hatch back. The next thing that we got when we were getting the top is we got both left and right corners. Now we actually got the entire fender from the front door back, so I can replace this really heavily damaged corner. Now one nice thing was I got the top, both left and right corners, a bunch of interior components, the rear hatch, and this wheel carrier, all for a 1969 390 Ford manifold and 3 slotted mag wheels. And it was a smoking deal for me. Hopefully the person I traded with thought it was a smoking deal too. But all said and done, I think I made out like a bandit. I was also able to acquire the front badges on this Jeep, which I did not have from before, but this liftgate's pretty cool. It just simply closes, latch down, and then you have like a banjo type clip that clips it shut so that it's now on there. It does have a spot for a gas can. Honestly, every time I see somebody with a gas can on the back of a Jeep, I always think, really, do they really need a gas can? And maybe if I were overlanding or overpacking, as they say, I may need something like that, but I'm really thinking I may adapt something like a water canister or maybe a toolbox to fit here, because that's something I would actually need, you know, somehow integrate stuff in that I can actually use, whether it's jumper cables or ratchet straps or, I don't know, a patch kit or whatever. I would need something else other than a useless gas tank. I was able to mount the original 31-inch tire and 15-inch wheel from my Jeep YJ that I used to have, and I just wrapped it in this tire. A 33, like I have on the Jeep, did not fit. It actually came in contact too much with the gas can holder. I could readapt the gas can holder, but I would prefer not to. I'd prefer to leave it as it was made. So a 31 actually fits in that space, just barely, but it fits. And it's got air in it, which is always important. A lot of times you'll walk by a Jeep and their spare tire will be flat under their little favorite football team cover, or their mom's knitted cover that's been made.